Alright, hello and welcome. My name is Thomas. In the crypto space I go by the name of Continuous. And this is the very first baby step tutorial on how to get into HELIX scripting, HELIX coding and HELIX grading. This is before the HELIX Studio is launching, so things may change, but I will focus on the concepts that will not change, and basically also the scripting API won't change. So we'll get a bit into what are assets, what are packages, how do they work together, and so on. And if you're seeing this, obviously you're in this HELIX Creators Discord, and there's one channel that's called Resources. And to start developing, what we need before the HELIX Studio is the server executable, which we will download here. Yeah, that's a Windows thing. So it may not even let us download the executable, so you need to confirm it. And sorry, my operating system is in German, but I think it should work anyway. And yeah, I have to say, okay, I want to keep it anyway, so we have it now. And also, I think you will not script a lot without the docs, so this will be our central resources to look things up and check how things actually work. What you also need, obviously, is the HELIX client, which you get from the Epics store, and Visual Studio is an IDE, so a development environment. And I created already a folder here, which is called mondaydemo, because today is Monday, and this is where we will work for this tutorial. Obviously, if you have larger projects, you will use Git or something like that. So let's head over to downloads and take our HELIX game server, and we'll just copy this executable in here. And what we need is also a command line, so or terminal. If you type cmd, you get this one, and this is the standard Windows terminal that starts in C, uses shadow, and cd is then for change directory, and we want to go into desktop. And we can then type dir, which is for directory, and that shows us what's in there on the desktop. We have here our mondaydemo, so we also go to mondaydemo. And when we look at it, what's in there? There's our HELIX game server, so all good. If you're annoyed by what you've typed before, there's CLS, which is for clear screen, so you get this one cleaned up again. Alright, so this is everything we need to start, and let's see what we see in the quick start here. So what HELIX wants us to do is create a new package. CLI is for command line interface, so that's exactly where we are, and we want to add a new package, and we will call it not my awesome package but mondaydemo, so this is really a name you can freely choose. So we need the HELIX game server, and by the way, if you tap tab, you get auto completion, --CLI, I believe, yes. Add a package, and then let's call it mondaydemo. It's fetching some stuff, and it also tells us it creates a new config.toml. Package title mondaydemo is suggested, so just hit enter. Package author, that's me. And we want to have a script package. That's an important one. With the other packages, it does not really work. And then it says, okay, created some stuff, and then the package mondaydemo was successfully created. And if we look into this folder here, where we had previously only the HELIX game server, we now have some log files, which are important. So if you look in here, that's pretty much what we just saw in the command line. So that's important if you try to find mistakes. This config toml, and then the packages folder where there's a package mondaydemo. There's a client server which has already an index Lua. This one will work quite a lot, and a package toml. And it's really so coding without a proper development environment is really not fun. So what we will do is we'll spawn up Visual Studio Code and say we want to open a folder. And we navigate then to our Monday demo and then just say, okay, we want to see this folder. Yes, I trust myself. And here we have then the same structure that we see in Windows Explorer here, right? So we have the packages folder here. There's a folder Monday demo, and in there is client server shared package tomo. It's pretty easy to navigate and open the files here. So we'll just stay in this Visual Studio Code environment and work from there. All right, so this is what comes out. Let's close that one. And what we will do is we will always have this window here open, which is to control our server executable. And if you just start the server, so just write helixgameserver.exe and then start, then it says, okay, Windows Firewall, let's allow it. Then we already see, okay, the output here, and red is never good. So it already says invalid map package, could not find it, or it's an invalid type, closing the server. Not much more detail. And I'm not quite sure where this is documented, but what we need to do is, if you go here to the Monday demo of the config tomo, so the config tomo is really the configuration file of the complete server, and for us interesting is down here with Word. So here we can define which packages should be loaded, which assets should be loaded, and most importantly, which map. Well, and there's nothing in there. So just type the default blank map. I've never found it in the docs, but there was a Discord comment about it. So this is how to get started. And then if you press the up arrow, you also see your last commands, and with down you can navigate that. So we just start Helix Game Server again, and now it sees the red one is gone, so it says starting server at the port 777, fetching some voltage, okay, and then also the package default blank map is loaded, so that's already good. And we can connect to our server actually. So let's start Helix. So the client now. And while this is loading, so we'll use an IP. This is this 127.0.0.1. That's really your local computer. So you're not leaving your computer, but just type this one, and then there was this port here, 777, and there's a colon. And then you type 7777, and what you can already see is my Helix is in a windowed environment, which I think if you work on a single screen is a lot better, because you can keep command line open down here and the client up here. Alright, now we connect, and what we already see is sky. And if you look at the command line down below, we saw, oh, a player was connecting. It says this is continuous, also gives my player ID and also my client version. So obviously the server recognizes I'm selecting, and I just see sky. In here you can already navigate with WASDF, and if you go up a little bit, then you see we have now a really big blank map. But although I connected as a player, I can't find a player somewhere. If you just hit escape, then your mouse is free again to move. Yeah, and now we will fix that player stuff. So if you look into the quick start guide, let's skip the props for now. This is how you spawn a player. And it says already here in your package, which is Monday demo in our case, in the server folder and index lua, you should add this code. We go over here, package, we're already in Monday demo, server and index lua, and then we add this one. So let's quickly look through the lines of code. So we have in here a new function that's called spawn character. Local means this is local variables. So this is a variable, this new underscore character. Character here is a class. And this character here has in brackets some arguments. And when you have the class name and some brackets and add values, that's called a constructor. This is quite often in the documentation then. So we create here this character at the position, which is 0, 0, 0, without rotation, so 0, 0, 0 again. This is x, y, and z coordinate, like in math. And then here's some string that's helix, : sk mail. So this is an important naming scheme. This one here is called a namespace or package name. So this is in the helix package. : separates then the package name from the asset name, and this is supposed to load the asset sk mail. Sk is, I think, for skeleton. And then also player possess new character. This means that the player that's connecting possesses the new character. And note this player thing here comes into this function as a function argument or function parameter. So we can work with that. What we then also need to do is, so this is executed when the server starts. When the server starts, it really starts from the first line. Sees, okay, somebody defined a function. And then it says, okay, all player in the player class, we want to subscribe to spawn. And whenever a player spawns, so connects to the server, we want to move into this spawn function here. And then this one gets executed. So that's really executed whenever I connect to the server as a player, this piece of code gets executed. And also the complete package here should subscribe when loading. We want to just spawn all the players that were already on the server. This is important for hot reloaded. Anyway, let's just keep it like that and see what happens. There's a nice functionality in the Helix game server. So you see we're still connected. Server is still up. You can just type here package reload all. And when we do that, it just got reloaded. Still no player is there. So let's just disconnect. So if things are not working, start with disconnecting. It says here player continues just left. Also with Control C, you can close the server. So go to the command line, close the server. And then let's just start everything again. So the Helix game server, okay, loaded, and then let's go to 107.0.0.1, 7777, then connect. Okay, blue sky again, so no player. Let's move up, and now we've established, okay, it's not some weird state of the server, so it's probably an error on my end. And in this case, let's see what we did. We spot that. It's in the index lure from the server, so that's good. Yeah, seems everything fine, right? What's then also good for debugging is reading that code. So it says here retrieving public IP, okay, and then it says package default blank map loaded. Well, if you remember, our package is not called default blank map, but our package is called mondaydemo. So what we read from that is it's not an error because the server does not know about our mondaydemo package, but the server tells us it loads into a different package than what we configured, right? So when we want to configure the server as a whole, you go in here to the config toml, which is the config file for the server, and here you see, okay, packages, list which packages you want to load, and we obviously want to load the mondaydemo package. Okay. By the way, I always use Control F to save, so if it's not saved, you see up here this small circle. And obviously, because before you try something, just hit save. course, you can also go here, File, and Save. So now what we did is we told the server, please don't load some default packages, but really our default, our mondaydemo package, sorry. And since this is affecting the complete server, we really have to stop the server again. We do this by going here, Control C, probably press it multiple times, closing the server with anger and hate, okay. And then let's start it again. What's now pretty nice is it says loading package mondaydemo. That looks a lot better. Package mondaydemo loaded, perfect. And loading the package default blank map, which we also need because we need the map. That's what we defined down here. Okay, again, same story. So we gotta connect. Whoops, forgot the one. And voila, we have a character without a head. So that's good, we can run, we can even punch and move around. That's already something. Alright, so now this without a head is pretty annoying actually, and the reason is this HELIX SK mail asset is probably not broken and not okay. But we can move over to the docs, and what's quite good if you want to see what's there is either move through the tutorials or just check which classes are there. And we now had this character class. And it says here, okay, there's a local, a male. We tried that. It also suggests here many. And probably let's just try if it looks better with many. Many and Quinn are, by the way, the Unreal Engine default characters, so save it. And then let's see, package reload all. Looks much better. So suddenly we are now many. So this is this Unreal character here. That's looking better. All right. But there's something even better. So if you look at the docs, if you scroll down a little bit, there's a HELIX character. And the HELIX character here has some descriptions, and if you really use a class for the first time, look at the constructors, so how you create it or instantiate it. So this HELIX character takes a location and a rotation, same as the other character, and then a mesh or something else. There's a HELIX avatar constructor, which is nice because this spawns really the avatar that's defined in the HELIX client. This one takes location, rotation, and then the player object. So we can go here and say, okay, we don't want to have a character, but a HELIX character. Location, rotation, and then it takes here the player. Save it. Let's go back. Package reload all. Whoops, and it's suddenly the avatar I created for my account. So this will always spawn the avatar of the player that's connecting. Okay. Now something very interesting about state. So if we disconnect, it says here continuous left, okay. The server is still running, right? I did not touch the server. And I connect again. And the real weird part is I'm still there. So this is important to know about HELIX or games in general. If you don't destroy objects and they are spawned on the server side, they will linger around for as long as the server lives. But luckily, I mean, this is not cool. If a player disconnects and reconnects, always sees his old self. Luckily, the tutorial gives us here some hints. So if we scroll to the very bottom here for the quick start, it says when a player leaves, we need to manually destroy the character. So really we get the character of the player and then destroy it on this on the event of leaving the server. So just add this down here. Whoops. Let's reload. Okay, voila. I'm gone. My old alter self is gone. Let's try it out if it still survives. Looking around, no, nobody there, just me, everything fine. I think that's more logical like that. Alright, so since we have our player now, let's spawn some props. So props or properties are things you can pick up and move around and have physics and everything. And let's go here to the prop class. So this is literally all the objects. And if you want to spawn a prop, it's always good to start from the example here. So we just copy it, check the default constructor, its location, rotation, same as for the player, and then the asset it should load. In this case, this obviously loads this SM, skeleton mesh, or static mesh crate 07. And we will just spawn that here as soon as the package is loaded. Let's see what happens. Nothing, okay, you need, there. Okay, we spawned an error message, but we can already with with the E key in my case, pick up the error, with E release it again. Has physics obviously, can throw it into the air and so on. But it says error, which is not nice because I would have expected a crate. An error in this case, if it's rendered like that, means that something is wrong, it cannot find the asset. So what I checked before, what's most likely it's outdated docs. What is existing is this SM cube. So I'm supposed to be able to spawn a cube. Reloading. And voila, there's the cube. Alright, so we can move that around, drop it again, and so on. So just to get you used a bit to how documentation and reading works, in the default constructor we see here, there's much more arguments, right? So we use the first one, which is location, rotation. Let's put this up here. So we have the location here, we have the rotation here, and then we have the asset, which is a static mesh reference. But there's more. There's also collision type, gravity enabled, grab mode, and they have default values. So if you're not defining those, then it will use the default. So if I just copy the default value, go here with a comma, add it there, nothing would change. And maybe just for the sake of demonstration, there's also gravity enabled, per default true. But let's see when we put false here, what happens then. Whoops, now I disconnected from my server. Let's start it again. So I'm now loading into the server. Since I restarted it, of course, also loads the package. And my cube is up there. Why the hell is it not on the floor? So why it's not on the floor is pretty easy to answer. When we spawned it at the set coordinate of 215. So if we move it up even higher, to 900, I think this is centimeters probably, if we spawn it at 900, it's supposed to be up in the air. Oops, yeah, oh, there it is. Let's see if we can still grab it. No, no chance, so we are too far away and also cannot jump as high. So let's put it down again. Yeah, there it is. Let's grab it, and if I put it down on the floor, so now it's on the almost on the floor. But also if I hop and release it, then it will stay up there and so on. So you get the point, right? So with those classes, you really can configure quite a lot. And what you can configure is really a matter of reading here in the documentation. It's not just a constructor, but you also have functions like you can set meshes, you can get handler. Now we're in the properties, sorry. Yeah, that's right. So the handler, you can get the character that's currently handling it. So while I'm holding it, you would get my character. Yeah, and simply a lot of functions. All right. Good, so this is now a default asset, and yeah, probably it's easy. Let's do that. Remove it and reload. Okay, what happened now is red, as I said, is never good. So what we now get is a Lua error on loading mondaydemo server index. And here it says in this file at the line 34, we got an unexpected symbol near the bracket. So here you see line numbers, right? In line number 34, you get an unexpected symbol. So those kind of errors are called syntax errors because I did something wrong with my scripting. In this case, I forgot to remove the comma here. So save it. And really, if you're looking for those kind of errors, go to this line number and look either to that line or some lines above. That's usually where the error is. We'll reload it and everything is fine again. Perfect. So yeah, there's now my gravity enabled cube again. Yeah, it has gravity. All right, so now let's replace the cube by some other asset which is not built in. And for that, what you can do is you can go to HELIX Hub and go to the Exchange. And you see here maps. You can also already download a map. Let's download the cinema. And you see here, this has very weird file names. So 9A26 is the map. And now let's also get some assets. Let's take some very small ones. Probably the markers, I used that already. So you can download that, and markers start with the D82. So this is now in our downloads folder, and let's just extract it here. So the map is obviously pretty large, and it extracts to a folder called Nova Cinema. And let's also extract that one. Markers is a lot smaller, so this goes to PCO markers. If we go in here, there's assets, TOML, and markers. And really, if you use those assets, what you need to do is just take it, copy it, and then go over to desktop, mondaydemo, and move it into the assets folder here. That's it. And now if we move back to Visual Studio, in the assets folder we can see there's now PCO markers, and then there's this assets TOML. And if you want to see how the properties and everything is called, you can go here to assets testing messages, and there's then one that's called SM marker error. let's copy that. And let's now spawn, instead of the cube, this arrow. And it's not in the HELIX package, but the package is called PCO markers. Save it. And same story again. Reload. Let's see where it is. Back there. Error. Not good. But there's hints. That's better. So here it says, okay, the asset pack PCO markers was not found. Make sure it exists, so it's being correctly loaded, and that's precisely our problem. It's not correctly loaded. And for loading, again, our config toml is responsible. And you see here, we tell it to load nothing. So we need to tell it to load the PCO markers, and it's really always this folder names here, so PCO markers. And let's start again. Still says PCO markers not found. Ah yeah, since we did a server change now, a package reload does not help us because we changed the server. So we really need to stop the server and start the server again. There you go. And you see no error message. This is good, so presumably it now works. Connect. Yeah. Ah yeah, and here is our marker. So again, it's a property, so I can pick it up, move it around, and so on. So this is already pretty nice. Okay, last but not least for this tutorial, let's spawn into a different map than this blank one here. So I also downloaded here the Nova Cinema one. Again, is an asset, so we just copy it and move it over to our mondaydemo assets and move it in here. It's a bit faster, larger. And now we see here in assets we have the Nova Cinema and the PCO markers. And now we can here go to config toml, and instead of the map we can say now this is in the package Nova -cinema, Nova -cinema, and again this map has a name. We can see here in the maps it's called HV Cinema Nova, so let's copy that. Config toml in this package. Let's have that. Let's see if it works. Spoiler, it will not. Again, we changed the map, so we need to restart the server. It tells us, okay, Nova Cinema is deprecated, should use a package of type map, blah blah. It takes some time. Loads here Nova Cinema with 754 files in the gigabyte, so that's a large one. And if we now connect again, here we go. We are now suddenly in cinema, and yeah, let's find our marker. Probably no, it's not in here. Okay, should have placed it closer. No, not there. Let's go outside. Maybe it's outside. There it is. And it's glowing, so it was not glowing in the default map. So this is also, lightning is different then. But this is a completely different story. Yeah, so this is my marker. I can move it around, move it into the seats probably. Oops, why is it not picking up? No, it's okay. we move it in here and place our marker there. All right, so it's already quite decent, right? So now let's publish whatever we have. And publishing is also quite easy. So if you're happy with that, let's just quit. And you see it's really just a couple lines of code, our property, our player, and we configured one of the pre-existing maps, and packages is mondaydemo, so all good. And for release, you go here in the Helix Hub, go to creations, then say, okay, new creation. Ideal case, call it the same as your package name. Continuous mondaydemo tutorial. So this is free. This is a tutorial. I will add the GitHub link to the code here later. Let's create it. Description is invalid. That's not good. It does not like the tutorial here. It does not like descriptions. So hello Helix team, this is a bug. I got here a word ID, which is mondaydemo. I can probably change it here. Let's see if it works now. Save. Yes, it does. So I assume this is pretty soon fixed. You could add stuff and whatnot. And let's save it. And then the interesting thing is config. Here you would need to list dependencies, which is in our case PCO markers. This is the one we added here. I think probably also at the Nova Cinema. Okay, and here we need to upload the Word package. And also that's nowhere documented. So you need to take your complete packages folder plus the toml and then say, okay, we wanna compress it. Let's call it mondaydemo.zip and then upload it. This was desktop, here's the zip file. Alright, and here it is. It's relatively small, and the game map here is Nova Cinema, so we need to add that and save and close. Publishing is probably a good idea. I cannot publish without an icon, okay. So let's see where I can add that. It's probably the main cover here. Huh. So I need an icon. Let's see what comes up when I search for Monday. Let's take this one. Okay. Very nice. Let's see if I can publish now. Yes, it's published. And if you go over here to hosting, luckily no costs, you need to press start dedicated hosting. Alright, so obviously it's running. 0 players, no resources, so I think that's not working at the moment, but yeah, let's check it. If we can connect. Where was this? Ah yeah, so if you go here to copy word ID, this looks something like this hash here, so not really nice. But if you go in here, yeah, here. So we got now this mondaydemo.lix, which is something we can use to connect to. And also it's at the moment listed, so we could also get it to unlisted, depending on if you have something experimental or not. So let's go back to Helix. Let's see, it should already be listed, hopefully. Yes, there it is. So it's the continuous Monday demo. So we have 12 players, so we can join the world. No, this was not supposed to happen. Let's see. Reload the packages and force a restart, probably always a good idea. Let's see. Yeah. The game map is Nova Cinema, so it's really copying that one. I hope this resolves it, but you see it's always a bit of fiddling around, so let's force restart the server. Let's see, connecting to server. No, this is not supposed to happen. Save and close. This is all good and fine. I also had that one that I had to cancel hosting and then start it again. So maybe that's not really stable at the moment in my opinion, so sorry. Yeah, so this was it. So if in doubt, cancel hosting and start it again. Yeah, we are now back in our cinema, but now not on my local machine, so I can completely close this server here and go out here. So it's really running now in the dedicated Helix hosting. So again, if you have issues like that, okay, now I also have an issue here with the property. That's not there. That's interesting. But you already saw I could upload it, so that's already something. And PCO markers. I think that should be supposed to work, but maybe this is going to change with the studio then as well. Yeah, so not really sure how stable and important the whole publishing process is, because I think this will change with Studio. But anyway, you saw at least the scripting you can add, but with assets it's quite difficult and unintuitive at the moment, so sorry for saying it like that. But I think this is going to change with Studio then anyway, because Studio is supposed to be quite a lot nicer for assets and all the package lookup stuff. But again, scripting will not change, so this whole concept here with spawning, subscribing, spawning stuff, changing behavior like we have seen with the gravity, that will be the same also with Studio. And also looking up the stuff here in documentation is really half of the job. So there you see what you can do. For instance, with properties, you could set the grab mode. you see then which values are there. Can either say, okay, it's not grabbable. Auto is default behavior or enable. Highlight mode, you can say this is this green border. You can enable it or not enable it. Handling modes, can you throw it? Does it have a torch? Do you need two hands to hold it, and so on? There's really quite a lot you can change, and you just go through the property. Or you can look up what's available with the player, and for instance, so with the player you could get the account ID or the account name, which would be continuous. This is this weird hash. So it's really about reading and then trying out and debugging, like we've seen now multiple times. Yes, so I hope this helped a bit. You should be able to connect this Happy Monday server now through your HELIX clients and see the error property which you can move around in the Nova Cinema. So that's about the very first baby steps. Just hit me up on Discord if you have questions. And probably as soon as Studio is out and you like this tutorial, we can do similar tutorials like that. Maybe in a bit more structured way and also written, but yeah, just let me know if this is helpful or not. Thank you.